Welcome to the new Chivalry Movement podcast with James M. Sama.
Hey everybody, how's it going? This is James Michael Sama with the new Chivalry Movement podcast. I want to welcome you to the very first podcast that we're doing for the new Chivalry Movement. I'm really excited to have an extra medium here to share these articles and ideas with you guys. Besides just being able to read them, now you can actually get a little bit more idea for the tone of my voice and the enthusiasm that I have for these subjects. So, welcome once again to the first broadcast, and today we're going to be talking about 16 secrets of couples with the strongest relationships. I think this is a really important topic to discuss because, it seems that the further we look, the harder it is to find couples who are in strong, happy, healthy relationships. But it's important not to get discouraged because they are out there, and they're out there in all generations. I think typically we credit our parents and our grandparents' generations with having longer lasting, more solid relationships. And while this may be the case, relationships like these, they don't just happen randomly. They do require consistent effort from both partners. And here are some valuable lessons we can take from couples who do have the strongest relationships. Number one, arguments are natural and they don't end at all. Strong couples understand that if you've got a house and a light bulb goes out, you fix the light bulb. You don't just get up and sell the house. If there's one issue or even a couple of issues here and there, you don't just sort of jump ship and abandon the relationship, which I feel like a lot of people tend to do these days. Just because you have arguments or fights, it doesn't mean the demise of the relationship. You can disagree with someone and still be in love with them. Just make sure to never be insulting and understand that if you constantly fight, if it's an ongoing problem that happens more than you have happiness in the relationship, it can easily be a red flag, and that's not something to be ignored. Number two, you can't overstate how much you love someone. If you do love him or her, as you should, with the intensity that you need to in order to really spend a lifetime together and build a life together, make sure that he or she knows it. Hearing I love you never really gets old. This is something that I think a lot of people sort of let go by the wayside these days, and they don't show their affection as much as maybe they typically should. And I hate to say it, but typically this goes for guys a little bit more than the women. So, this is, besides being an added bonus of always hearing these words, it does help to eliminate any insecurities or doubts because you're keeping your partner confident about your feelings. So they don't have any reason to question how you really feel or if you're as dedicated to the relationship as much as they are. Number three, your family is their family and vice versa. Now, I know some of you maybe are not be in a position for marriage, but my parents have always said to me, if you marry somebody, you don't just marry them, you marry the whole family. And a lot of ways, this goes for just dating too. If you're getting more serious with somebody, holidays roll around, or even just, a dinner or a weekend together here and there. Family is an important part of a relationship. And, that's something that you don't necessarily agree with. Consider having somebody in your life that your mother, father, sister, brother, friend, cousin, whoever, openly disapproves of. There's definitely some tension that can be brought to the situation in that case. And while it's unrealistic to expect that everyone will always get along and like each other, it is important to put in the effort to treat his or her family as your own. And I guarantee your partner will appreciate your effort. Number four, keep your private life private. It really doesn't take more than a few seconds of scrolling through Facebook to spot more than one person's relationship issues. As we know, people have a tendency to sort of air their dirty laundry out on Facebook, and what this does basically is invite all of your Facebook friends and whoever can see your status updates into your relationship. If you've got something that you're trying to work on together, it becomes a public issue when it would really be better suited to stay private. So, share your fun dates, post your pictures, enjoy yourself together, but make sure you draw the line where it's necessary. Number five, don't let things get stale. Particularly in longer-term relationships, it is natural to fall into a routine to someone. I understand that. But this is why it's important to stay spontaneous and to keep that fire burning. Whether it's planning a date night or getting in the car just to pick a town for a weekend away. Surprise him and her with tickets to that concert they've wanted to go to. Nobody wants to be in a mundane relationship, and keeping that fire burning by consistently stoking it is important. And it does take effort, but that's what makes healthy relationships so fulfilling. And number six, be punctual. Just because you're not picking someone up for dates anymore doesn't mean you can be late. If you're going to a party or an event together, do your best to be ready when you both plan to leave. Because if someone's waiting around for you and getting impatient because you're going to be late to something that's important to them, it can cause unnecessary tension during an evening that's supposed to be fun for the both of you. And the last thing you want to do is have a blowout argument before you get in the car or on your way to the event. Number 7, pick up the slack when your partner is overwhelmed. I understand life can get busy, work can be stressful, and people can easily get overwhelmed. And this is why it's important to blur the lines of gender roles in a relationship. Things like doing the laundry or cleaning the kitchen, they're not women's roles. They're necessary chores that need to be done in order to keep a household or an apartment or wherever you're living functioning properly. So it's important that both sides share these responsibilities. And if your significant other who usually does a certain type of chore or errand is feeling stressed, step in and take care of it. Number 8, take care of your partner when they are sick. Nobody wants to get sick, nobody enjoys getting sick, nobody chooses getting sick. But being in a relationship is not just about being there when things are great. It's also about stepping in to do what it takes when things are not great. So if your partner gets sick, cancel your dinner plans, go to the store for more medicine, do whatever it takes to make him or her feel better. And one of the important parts about this is not having an attitude about it either. Nobody likes to feel like they're being a burden on their significant other. And if this is someone who you can seriously picture growing into old age with, they need to be able to know that you are willing to take care of them whenever you have to. Number 9, don't stop doing the little things. Things like if you're checking out at the store and you see his or her favorite candy on the shelf, grab some of it. Bring home flowers randomly. Plan that date night. The small things you do for someone are what count the most, because these are the things that show that you don't need a holiday or a special occasion to do something nice. You just do it because you're in love with them. Number 10, ask how your partner's day was. We all need to vent sometimes, regardless of whether we've had a stressful day, if we're feeling unappreciated at work, or even if we have some exciting news to share. Things like this and being able to open up to your significant other about the details is comforting. And openly welcoming the discussion shows him or her that you're genuinely interested in their day. Just because you've been together for a while doesn't mean you should care any less about things that seem routine. In fact, it's just the opposite. And most importantly, don't just ask out of obligation. Ask out of genuine interest. Really listen to what they have to say, absorb it, and respond accordingly. Number 11, understand the value of compromise. You may not always want to do what your partner wants. That work party is pretty lame every year, and you don't really care for that band that you just got concert tickets for. You'd rather be doing literally anything else in the world besides this double date with their rowdy friends that you can't stand. But you do it with a smile on your face anyway, because it's important to your partner, and you know they would do it for you in return. Plus, isn't who you're with more important than what you're doing? Number 12, know when to let things slide. Before you bring up something small that bothers you, ask yourself if the potential argument that could arise is really worth eliminating something that's just nothing more than a nuisance. That goes back to the point about compromise, understanding, and choosing your battles. Number 13, do not let the intimacy fade. Romance should not fade after the honeymoon phase of a relationship. In fact, it should increase over time because this person is becoming a bigger, more important part of your life. Both physical and emotional intimacy are cornerstones of a strong relationship. These are things we can't lose sight of no matter how long we stay together. Number 14, give your partner your undivided attention. This is a new problem facing our generation. Our parents and grandparents didn't sit on the couch in silence on their smartphones. They interacted with each other. They spent quality time together. They really absorbed each other's presence. And technology is great. It's a highly effective tool for streamlining our lives and for staying in touch when we're not together. They also didn't have the ability to send a text message during the day or reach out to the significant other anytime they wanted, so it's certainly not all bad. But if we want to build a deep emotional connection with someone, we need to unplug from all these distractions when we are with them. Number 15, share new experiences together. Whether it be something as simple as watching a movie neither of you has seen or something as extreme as skydiving for the first time together. Not that I have ever done that yet anyway. I have always found that, sharing new relationships with someone is valuable. And particularly in a relationship, this is something that your girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife or whoever it is has never seen, heard, or felt before. Both of your minds are being open to something new and unique for the very first time, and you're doing it together. And that helps you to create intimacy over the long term. Number 16, value your alone time. Even when you have jobs or friends, families, obligations, children, in-laws, and all of the busyness that comes along with a full life, one thing always stays true. Your relationship is at the center of this rotating universe that you've created. And to lose sight of the two people who make it all tick in the first place is to lose sight of your foundation, your reason and your why that you are together. It's to sacrifice the quality of your relationship to keep that well-oiled machine that is the rest of your life working smoothly. But the problem here is that when you do slow down, you're too exhausted to really enjoy each other's presence. This is why it's important to make time for each other, to really connect with each other. Don't lose sight of what matters. Yes, you are two individuals with individual lives and one large life that you've created together. But you have also made the commitment to be a single unit that takes on the world together, to be a team, and above all else, value the commitments you have made. The rest will come together and stay together, just like the two of you will.
Thank you for listening, and please visit newchivalrymovement.com for more resources.